he rose to the highest position of prominence in the land of Egypt. You are next on the line. Joseph became a consultant to teach the Senate of Egypt wisdom at his discretion. He became a consultant, sir. Look at it. Look at it. In Psalms 105 from verse 17 to verse 20, to verse 22. Psalms 105 from verse 17 to verse 22. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came. When that word came, everything changed. The word of the Lord tried him, and then he began to triumph. The king sent and loosened even the ruler of the people and let him go free. He made him lord of his house and ruler over all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure and teach his senators wisdom. Can you imagine? He became a consultant to the Senate of Egypt, teaching them wisdom at his discretion. Not the wisdom of the world, but the wisdom which is of God, which is superior to the wisdom of the world and to the princes of the world that came to naught. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? The kind of wisdom that Joseph was teaching the senators of Egypt was not taught in Harvard. We are not talking about the kind of wisdom that they teach in Harvard or Oxford. No. We are talking about the wisdom that the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 from verse 9 to verse 11. Watch this. But as it is written, I had not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for them that love him. But God has revealed them unto us by who? By his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, even the deep things of God. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of God knoweth no man, but the Spirit of God. Now we have received, not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things which are freely given unto us of God, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. That's the wisdom we're talking about. The wisdom that the Holy Ghost teaches. Did you see that, sir? He said, as it is written, I had not seen. People in Oxford and Harvard have not seen it, sir. It comes by revelation. I had not seen, nor ear heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for them that love him. But God has revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, even the deep things of God. The wisdom we are talking about is too deep for the people in the world to understand. But the Bible said, now we have, it said, what man knoweth the things of a man except the spirit of man which is in him? Likewise, the things of God knoweth no man but the Spirit of God. Now we have received, not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given unto us, which things also we speak. Not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but with the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. It is beyond the comprehension of intellectuals. We are talking about the wisdom that the Holy Ghost. Now, you see, the Holy Ghost taught Joseph how to preserve food for 7 years, including perishable goods. Bekatozoziza. That's a level, sir. We are talking about Adam demonstrated that dimension of wisdom because it was given to him by the breath of God. He single-handedly named every animal on the planet Earth, and whatever name Adam gave any animal, that was the name thereof, including animals in the sea. How did he do it? Is somebody hearing what I'm saying, sir? That's why when we operate sometimes, it is beyond the comprehension. The Bible said concerning this wisdom, that the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Verse 14 of 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Look at it, verse 14. It says, for the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, they are beyond his comprehension. Harvard tells you, save against the raining day. The wisdom of God tells you, scatter so you can gather later. And so when you follow the wisdom of Harvard and save against the raining day in a bank, and the bank crash, your life crashes with it. But when you invest in the kingdom and in God's people, you are investing against the future. It's an investment that is guaranteed to deliver unprecedented dividends. Why? Because you are investing in a place where thieves cannot get to, where moth cannot get to, where nothing that corrupts can get to. Is that not what Jesus said? Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Our prosperity is not stored in vaults. Our prosperity is stored in the kingdom and in God's people. That's where our prosperity is. Our prosperity is not stored in vaults. Our prosperity is stored in the kingdom and kingdom people. That's where I'm investing, sir. I'm investing in the kingdom. I'm investing in the lives of kingdom people. When they rise, there's nowhere I'll be grounded. I will rise with them. Those who hold light for others to see in darkness can never remain in darkness. Those who help others to rise up can never remain on the ground. That's where we are investing, sir. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? What more can we say about Daniel? Another man that inherited glory by the oppression of divine wisdom. God gave Daniel, alongside his companions, divine wisdom in Daniel chapter 1 verse 17. Look at it. Daniel chapter 1 verse 17. And as for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge, skill in all learning, and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. So Daniel was endowed with the spirit of wisdom and understanding as a teenager. Because the Bible says, and as for these 4 children, not 4 men. So Daniel was endowed with the spirit of wisdom and understanding as a teenager, alongside his fellows, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And by engaging the wisdom of God that was imparted into his life, he occupied a place in the palace that lasted for 65 years. In the regime of, 4 kings: Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, Cyrus, and Darius. In Daniel chapter 1 from verse 19 to verse 21. Daniel chapter 1 from verse 19. And the king communed with them or tested them. And among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. You see, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were later named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And the Bible said, therefore, they stood before the king. So from today, you will never stand before ordinary people. You will never stand in low places. You will stand in high places. By engaging the wisdom of God, Daniel and his companions occupied a place in the palace. And Daniel lasted in relevance for 65 years over the regime of 4 kings. Look at it in Daniel verse 20. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them to be 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. This is my understanding, that a man that carries the wisdom of God is 10 times better than others carrying the wisdom of men or the wisdom of this world. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Verse 21. Look at the next verse. And Daniel continued unto the 1st year of King Cyrus. He continued He was there all through the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, who handed over the kingdom to his son Belshazzar. And Daniel was there all through. After the reign of Belshazzar, Darius came on the scene, and Daniel was there all through the reign of Darius. And after the reign of Darius, Cyrus came on the scene, and Daniel was there even to the first year of King Cyrus. Bible historians said that it was a period of 65 years. Since he stepped into the palace and displayed the wisdom of God, he remained in the palace for 65 years. My God. You know what the Bible said about wisdom in Isaiah 33 verse 6? Watch this. Isaiah 33 verse 6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be what? Stability. We saw stability in the life of Daniel. Stability in relevance. Stability in prominence. Stability in prosperity. 65 years. That's what wisdom does. Wisdom therefore guarantees sustainable lifting. Wisdom does what? Guarantees sustainable lifting. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? By constantly engaging the wisdom of God, Daniel kept changing level from glory to glory. In Daniel chapter 2, from verse 14 to verse 16, we see another change of level in the life of Daniel on the platform of divine wisdom. There was a writing on the wall, and no one in the entire kingdom of Babylon could interpret that writing on the wall. A finger just appeared. A hand just appeared with no human body attached to it, just hand. And the hand began to write on the wall. After writing on the wall, the hand with no human body disappeared. And they began to look for who will interpret the writing on the wall. And no one in the entire kingdom of Babylon could interpret the writing. And the king became angry and said, all these wise men. And so the matter came to Daniel. And the Bible said in verse 14, he answered with wisdom. Look at it. And Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, the man in charge of killing all the wise men, magicians of Babylon, that have failed to interpret the writing on the wall. He said, why? Which was gone out to slay the wise men of Babylon. Verse 15. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? And Arioch made the thing known unto Daniel. And see verse 16. See what Daniel said. Verse 16. And Daniel went to his house. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he will show the king the interpretation. See wisdom, sir. Just give me time. You see, you need to understand that everything comes out to light with time. Everything comes out to light with time. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's why nobody must be in a hurry to answer anything. Don't be in a hurry to answer any proposal. Young ladies, are you hearing me, sir? When a young man comes up to you and speaks grammar to you and presents his proposal, tell him, give me time. Nobody can cover his true nature for a long time.